Dear one, in the silent hours of the night, when the world sleeps and your heart aches for something more than fleeting pleasures, have you not wondered, what is death? What lies beyond this mortal existence? Beneath the clamor of daily life, each soul carries this question, tucked away like a half-forgotten memory. Even the happiest moments whisper of impermanence, and the most sorrowful remind us that this life, in all its beauty and suffering, is but a passing phase in a far greater journey. Since the dawn of human consciousness, seekers have peered beyond the veil of this world, yearning to know what lies on the other side. Is there a heaven or hell, or does the soul simply vanish into nothingness? Does the love we share with others end with the last breath, or does it transcend the grave? I tell you, beloved, the ancient yogis, seers, and illumined saints did not guess at these matters, nor did they depend upon blind belief. Through deep meditation and union with the infinite spirit, they pierced the mysteries of life and death and returned to tell us of realms more luminous, more joyous, and more real than this earthbound plane. Today, let us journey together into these sacred teachings, not as idle curiosity, but as a sincere inquiry of the heart. For what could be more important than understanding the destiny of your own soul? What could be more essential than knowing how to prepare for the inevitable moment when this body, which you now call your own, must one day be left behind? Death, dear one, is not the end, but a doorway to new worlds, a transition into subtler dimensions of existence where the soul continues its timeless voyage. And yet, how few truly prepare for this inevitable passage. In their forgetfulness, they fear death, seeing it as a cruel destroyer, when in truth it is a liberator, a kind friend, returning us to our eternal home. Through the sacred science of yoga, through devotion, meditation, and self-realization, one can overcome the fear of death and behold its true nature. Stay with me now, and let us walk together through these eternal truths. For you are far more than flesh and bone. You are an immortal soul, and this world is but one chapter in your soul's unending story. Beloved one, to understand death is to understand life itself, for they are two sides of the same cosmic rhythm. What men call death is not a final annihilation, nor is it a punishment. It is a necessary, merciful transition, the soul's moment of release from the heavy garment of flesh it has worn through countless experiences. The body you call your own is but a temporary abode, a hut made of flesh and bone. The soul, however, is eternal, untouched by birth, decay, or death. It is a spark of the infinite spirit, an ever-luminous flame that cannot be extinguished by the winds of time. When a person dies, what truly occurs is a withdrawal of life force, or prana, from the physical form. The 5 life currents, which keep the senses, heart, and breath in motion, begin to recede. The senses grow dim, the heartbeat slows, and the breath ceases. But in that moment, which so many fear, there is no pain for the conscious soul. There is a beautiful release, like a bird escaping the confines of its cage. The soul, free of its mortal covering, rises to the astral realms, where it continues its journey according to the law of karma and the vibrational frequency of its consciousness. You see, dear one, death is not a grim figure clothed in darkness, but a gentle friend who comes to loosen the bonds of physical limitation. It is as natural as sleep and as essential as birth. Just as the body rests in slumber while the consciousness travels in dreams, so too does the soul leave the worn-out body and enter the dreamlike world of the astral planes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna wisely reminds us, as a man casts off worn-out garments and puts on new ones, so does the soul cast off its worn-out body and enter a new one. This is a law of nature, simple and eternal. The fear of death arises because man identifies himself with his body and possessions, forgetting his true immortal nature. The yogi, however, through the practice of meditation and inner communion with the divine, learns to separate his awareness from the body even while living. In this way, he experiences a little death each day, making the final transition at life's end a peaceful, conscious release rather than a fearful unknown. Beloved seeker, when the final hour comes, when the time arrives for the soul to depart from its earthly dwelling, the great cosmic drama reaches a most sacred moment. Death, which seems so sudden and final to the onlooker, is in truth a gradual and orderly process, beautifully orchestrated by the laws of nature. In those last moments, the life force begins its withdrawal from the outer extremities, from the hands, the feet, the senses, gathering itself inward like a river flowing back to its source. The eyes may dim, the heartbeat slows, the breath becomes faint, but the real work is occurring in the unseen realms within. The life energy, or prana, which animates the physical body, retreats from the organs and gathers at the center between the eyebrows, the spiritual eye, the kutastha chaitanya, that luminous doorway between the mortal and immortal worlds. It is through this point, dear one, that the soul leaves the physical form, just as it entered through it at birth. If the consciousness of the departing soul is restless, clouded by fear, attachments, and worldly desires, it hovers confused, often clinging to the physical plane or drawn to lower astral regions where unfulfilled cravings find their expression. But for the one who departs with a calm and God-centered mind, with the sacred name of the divine on his lips and devotion in his heart, the transition is entirely different. The masters say that such a soul experiences no pain or terror but is lifted effortlessly, like a wave merging back into the vast ocean of spirit. Great souls often leave this world in full awareness, consciously passing through the spiritual eye in a blaze of light and divine ecstasy. The ancient scriptures remind us, as a man thinks at the moment of death, so he becomes. The final thought carries immense power. It acts as a magnet, pulling the soul toward higher or lower realms. This is why the wise yogis train themselves daily, through meditation, to dissolve the sense of body identity and remain centered in the eternal self. The one who can hold his awareness in the divine light at the spiritual eye, and pass into the next world in that state, is freed forever from bondage. Remember this, dear one, death does not claim the soul, it only claims the temporary vessel. The soul, eternal and untouched, moves on, guided by the currents of its consciousness and the laws of karma, to continue its divine journey home. Beloved soul, beyond this visible world, which you perceive with the five senses, lie realms more wondrous, more beautiful, and far more real than the physical earth. The ancients knew this, and the great masters who have touched the hem of infinity speak of it not as theory but as direct experience. After the soul departs from the body at death, it does not vanish into nothingness, nor does it remain suspended in a void. Instead, it is drawn, according to the laws of vibration and karma, to one of three primary realms of existence: the physical, the astral, and the causal worlds. The physical world is this realm you now inhabit, a plane of gross matter, where the soul experiences limitation, duality, pleasure, and suffering through the senses. It is the most constricting of the three, yet a necessary school for the soul's evolution, where karma is created and balanced. Upon shedding the physical body, the soul enters the astral world, a realm composed of light and energy, where matter is subtle, luminous, and instantly responsive to thought. Here, the soul dons an astral body made of light, free from disease, decay, and the weight of physical limitations. The astral realms are vast, ranging from lower, darker regions, inhabited by souls still burdened with base desires and attachments, to celestial regions of exquisite beauty, where high-minded souls dwell in joy, wisdom, and peace. It is in these astral heavens that departed souls often reunite with loved ones, not as limited personalities but as radiant beings of pure consciousness. Here there are temples of learning, cities of light, and spheres of joy where evolved souls progress in their understanding of divine truth. In this luminous world, time as you know it does not exist. The soul experiences existence in cycles of inner light and bliss. Beyond the astral lies the causal world, the realm of pure thought, the subtlest vibration where the soul, stripped even of its astral form, exists as an individualized point of consciousness. In this high abode, desires are but ideas, and creation takes place through the mere intention of the mind. It is here that the soul remembers its true nature most vividly, though even this plane is a stepping stone to final union with the infinite. Dear one, these worlds are not fantasy, they are more enduring than this transient earth. Through deep meditation and inner awakening, you too may glimpse these realms even while in the body, for heaven is not distant, it exists within you, in the temple of your own consciousness. Beloved child of light, the soul's journey after leaving the mortal body is one of wondrous unfolding, a passage both sublime and deeply meaningful, shaped by the accumulated tendencies, desires, and deeds it has carried through many incarnations. You must understand, the soul is not cast about randomly after death. Divine law, exact and compassionate, guides it according to its own consciousness and karma, like a magnet pulling iron filings into perfect order. In those first moments after death, if the departing soul is burdened with earthly attachments, unfulfilled cravings, or restless desires, it may linger in the lower astral regions. These are subtle realms where souls with unresolved tendencies remain temporarily, experiencing visions shaped by their own thoughts and emotions. Here, attachments to material pleasures, anger, or fear can create illusory conditions, much like dreams woven from one's own subconscious impressions. Yet even this is not a punishment, dear one, but a merciful opportunity for the soul to gradually shed its worldly fetters. Those whose hearts were noble, who lived in kindness, service, and love, find themselves gently drawn to higher astral spheres, luminous lands of indescribable beauty, where the air itself is music, and the very light is alive with bliss. Here, beloved souls are greeted by loved ones who have passed before them, and by luminous guides and masters who assist in their onward journey. It is a realm of rest, renewal, and learning, where the soul reflects upon its recent life, understanding with clarity the lessons gained and mistakes made, free from the veils of ego and illusion. In time, based on its karmic debts and unfulfilled aspirations, the soul prepares to return once more to the physical plane, choosing, often with the guidance of higher beings, the parents, circumstances, and conditions best suited for its continued spiritual growth. The ancient sages tell us that before rebirth, the soul witnesses glimpses of its future life, agreeing to the challenges it must face, for each trial is a gift of grace, crafted for its liberation. But for the realized yogi, dear one, the soul who has broken all bonds of desire, who has merged his consciousness in the divine while still in the body, there is no compulsion to return. Such a soul, after departing, ascends beyond astral and causal realms, dissolving forever into the infinite ocean of spirit, free from the cycle of birth and death. This is the soul's true home, the destiny of every being, and the birthright you too shall claim. Beloved one, it is natural for the heart to long for those who have passed beyond the veil of this world. The bonds of love, formed not by bodies but by souls, are eternal, and though the physical form may perish, the soul, in its essence, lives on, retaining memory, affection, and awareness. Thus arises the question many have asked since time immemorial: can we reach those who have departed? Can they hear us, feel us, or respond to our silent calls? The ancient masters and illumined saints affirm that true communication between souls is not only possible but natural, though it occurs on a subtler plane of consciousness. The astral world, where most souls reside after death, operates through the medium of thought, which travels swifter than any earthly sound or signal. When you think deeply of a departed loved one, and your heart sends forth a wave of pure, selfless love, that vibration reaches the astral being, who intuitively perceives it as a gentle current touching their consciousness. However, it is important to understand, dear seeker, that ordinary attempts to contact souls through mechanical means or curiosity-driven seances are not encouraged by the wise. Such efforts can attract restless, lower astral entities, clouding the mind and binding one further to the physical plane. The safe and sacred way to commune with those who have passed is through the quiet sanctuary of meditation and prayer. In the stillness of the heart, when the mind becomes calm and the soul's natural intuition awakens, one may receive a silent response, a feeling of peace, a flash of inner light, or a dream of unmistakable clarity. I have often guided sincere devotees who mourn departed parents, children, or companions, encouraging them to meditate deeply, focusing at the spiritual eye while sending forth their love and prayers. In time, many have felt the unmistakable presence of those souls, uplifted and joyous in the astral realms. Souls free from the body are responsive to genuine love and spiritual vibrations but are disinterested in earthly gossip or trivial messages. And remember, dear one, the highest gift you can offer a departed soul is not sorrow, but the radiance of your own spiritual practice. When you meditate deeply and send the light of peace to those beyond, it uplifts them as surely as the rising sun dispels the night. In this way, love endures, and the invisible thread between souls is never truly severed. Beloved one, if death is inevitable, as it is for every being born into this world, then what greater wisdom can there be than to learn how to meet it, not in fear, but in serene awareness? The wise yogis and saints have long taught that death should not come as a surprise to the soul, but as a conscious, welcome transition, a moment of freedom wherein the soul, with full awareness, releases the mortal garment and merges into the light of spirit. This is the true art of dying, to live in such a way that the final breath is taken in peace, in God remembrance, with no regret nor lingering attachment. How, then, dear one, can you prepare for such a death? The answer lies in how you live each day. It is not in the final hour alone that one gains mastery over the body and mind, but in the daily practice of detachment, meditation, and right action. Every act of kindness, every moment of stillness, every step away from selfish desire strengthens the soul's ability to remain unshaken when the call of departure comes. The first and most essential practice is to meditate daily, entering the sacred inner temple of silence. In deep meditation, when you withdraw the life currents from the senses and merge in the spiritual eye, that luminous star of divine consciousness between the eyebrows, you practice the very art of death while still in the body. In those sacred moments, the soul temporarily forgets the physical form, experiencing itself as pure, boundless awareness. The yogi who practices this becomes familiar with the state of bodiless existence and loses all fear of the final transition. Equally important, dear seeker, is to cultivate non-attachment. Love your family, your friends, your work, but hold all lightly, knowing that one day you must leave them. Serve others with devotion, but remember that your soul belongs to God alone. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, Be alike in pleasure and pain, in gain and loss, in victory and defeat. This equanimity is the armor that will shield you when the final hour arrives. And above all, live in constant remembrance of the divine. Chant God's name, repeat a holy mantra, or silently invoke the beloved in your heart. When death comes, let your last thought be of the infinite. For as a man thinks at death, so shall he become. The soul who departs in God remembrance ascends swiftly, breaking all chains of karma, finding freedom in the blissful embrace of eternal spirit. Prepare now, beloved, and know that death is not your enemy, but the soul's great homecoming. Beloved soul, as we draw this sacred conversation to a close, I invite you to pause for a moment and feel the silent witness within you, that changeless presence which has watched over your life, through joys and sorrows, successes and failures, birth and someday, death. You are not this body, nor the restless mind. You are the immortal, ever-radiant soul, a spark of the infinite spirit, untouched by time, unclaimed by death. This earthly life is but a chapter in your soul's vast, eternal story. If this message has stirred something deep within you, a longing to know your true self, to understand the mysteries of life and death, and to walk the path of conscious living and conscious dying, then know that this longing is the divine itself awakening in you. Cherish it, nourish it, and follow where it leads. Remember, dear one, the yogis do not teach fear of death, but mastery over it. In meditation, you can glimpse the reality beyond form, and in stillness, feel the eternal embrace of spirit. Begin now. Sit daily in silence. Meditate upon the spiritual eye. Practice kindness, detach from that which binds you, and live with your heart anchored in the divine. When the final moment comes, you will walk through that great door, not as a frightened traveler, but as a victorious, smiling child returning home. If this message touched your heart, I humbly invite you to join this growing family of seekers by subscribing to this channel. Together, let us build a sacred space where the ancient truths of the masters can be remembered, practiced, and lived once more in this modern world. Leave a comment below, beloved, and share your reflections. What are your thoughts on death, the afterlife, and the soul's journey? Let us learn and grow together, for every sincere question is a lamp lighting the path for others. And if you feel someone you love could be comforted or uplifted by these words, share this message with them. Remember, every light you kindle in another's heart increases the light in your own. Until we meet again, dear soul, may you walk with courage, wisdom, and the unceasing remembrance of your eternal home. Om, peace, Amen.